All right, good morning. My contemplation this morning is on the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment document, on the objective, on the goal rather, that have been set, and the objective of each of the goal. I started talking about it, I think, this is my third session. I've talked about, there are three parts to it, just by way of remember. You can pick it up on the website of the Ministry of Trade. Economic diversification, accelerate true industrialization, digitalization, creative art, manufacturing, and innovation. Then trade revenue growth, boost export and foreign exchange earning. And then investment mobilization, increase investment retention and attraction. My focus is on trade revenue growth, boost export and foreign exchange earning. The first one among the objective under this particular area of focus for the ministry is revise trade investment and investment strategy laws and regulation, trade policies, and export-led retention focused economy, which I already talked about for 2 sessions. Today, my focus will be on championing regional trade and investment. Championing regional trade and investment under AFCFTA. Basically, how do we maximize the potential we have under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement? Can Nigeria become a regional trade powerhouse? Can Nigeria become a regional trade powerhouse? Here is my take on what I think should be done, and I will look at it from 3 perspectives. Number 1, I'll talk about communication. Number 2, I'll talk about capacity. And number 3, I'll talk about collaboration. Those are the 3 areas I feel the strategy the Ministry of Trade with NEPC need to consider if we are going to be able to maximize the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Communication. The area of communication I think we need to go through to be able to ensure that this program, when I was doing my MSc, my research was in West African, the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, ETLS, ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, similar to AFCFTA in Africa. And when I was trying to do the research and get some questionnaire across to some businesses to be able to have an understanding of their own understanding and the issues they have on AFCFTA, I realized that the communication of ETLS has been very, very poor. The communication of the ETLS. Communication in terms of the program. What does the program entail? What are the protocols in the program? Trading goods, trading services, dispute resolution, intellectual property right, investment, digital trade, women and youth in trade, different protocol. What does it entail? Many do not understand exactly what it entails. So there is need for communication of information around this. To the business community. To the business community. I'll talk more on how to communicate that when I talk about collaboration. The next one is the product. What are the products that can be exported under AFCFTA? I've done a research on this and I discovered over 90 different products that Nigeria currently produce that can be exported under AFCFTA. So what are the products? So as Nigerian, if I want to export, as Kenya, as Ghanaian, what are the products? And I was looking at what are the products that Nigeria, Africa currently import from different parts of the world. Because if they currently import it from different parts of the world, then most likely is something we can consider under AFCFTA. Then what are the profits? What are the benefits? There are a lot of benefits, particularly for importers. Importers who are having issue with foreign exchange. Importers who can rework their supply chain and bring in their raw material cheaper into the country, leveraging on the free trade under AFCFTA, leveraging on the free tariff under AFCFTA. The profit, what are the benefits? There are myriads and numerous benefits under the Africa. So these have to be communicated. Another area of communication to the public is promotion. How do we go about promotion? How do we go about getting purchase order? How do we go about getting purchasers and buyers? You must communicate this to the people. Where are the buyers? So for example, government should have done research and say, look, we have enough potential in Kenya, we have enough potential market in Uganda, we have enough potential market in South Africa, so that when people, the citizens should not be doing their research. Many don't even have the wherewithal in terms of skill and resources to be able to do it. So if the ministry have done it and you have documents on your website, there was a time I did a video and I did it for, I think, about 50 countries in Africa, analyzing different markets in different countries to be able to provide an idea of, if you are going to this market, this is what they buy, these are the challenges in the market, these are the culture of the people, these are the documentation required, information about different markets. Where are the purchasers for Nigeria or African products? And then paperwork. What are the documentation? If I'm an exporter right now, what are the new documents I will need? I'm an exporter right now, and I want to now shift my focus on AFCFTA. Apart from the NXP, apart from the pro forma invoice, apart from the CCI, the SGD, and the NES, and the regular document I will need when I'm exporting, what are the additional documentation? What are the paperwork required? Information about this need to be made available to the public. Information about, for example, the certificate of origin, which is a critical document. How do I obtain that certificate of origin? Then payment, information about payment. Pan-African payment and settlement system. Pan-African payment and settlement system. Pan-African payment and settlement system has come to stay. Information about how do I obtain payment. Information about the process, the export process. So how do I obtain my certificate of origin? Who do I go to? How do I fill the form? Who are those that, how long will it take for me to be able to get this? Information about the procedure. What is the new export process? What has changed if I'm doing AFCFTA? Information about the people. By people, I mean the stakeholder. Who am I going to, which organization am I going to go and apply? Who am I? Who is going to get me my certificate of origin? How do I? All the people, all the agency of government that are involved from beginning to the end. Information. Now, this information should be available on the Ministry of Trade and NEPC website, but more importantly, this information should be communicated to the public. I should be able to have a lot of question answer. Even in developed countries, in EU, for example, no, they are not able to maximize their trade agreement. In some developed countries, not even up to 20% of the business are able to maximize it. And do you know what they complain about? They complain about understanding the procedure, understanding the process, understanding the custom process, custom documentation, custom requirement is the major impediment, even in developed countries, hindering them from maximizing the opportunities available in a free trade agreement like the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now, there is need for capacity building for the businesses. Capacity building in product, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, quality specification, capacity building in product, capacity building in pricing, capacity building in pricing, capacity building in the paperwork, documentation requirement, capacity building in purchasers, how to find buyers on the African continent, and capacity building around the payment method and payment mechanism. Why making the information available to the public? It's now important to have like a school, like an organization, like a government agency that every month, if I want to learn about AFCFTA, I can come and I'll go through a process and I'll probably even get a certificate, do an exam and get a certificate that shows that yes, I understand it. And businesses can send, and government can even make money from it. Businesses can send their staff to go and learn about this in this particular organization. Capacity building. One of the biggest challenges of exports, not just in Nigeria, in many countries around the world, is export readiness. And the major issue that causes lack of export readiness is lack of capacity, inadequate understanding of a number of things that could go wrong, on how to go about the process and make it a success. On how to go about the process and make it a success. And lastly, remember I talked about communication of the value of this program and what it entails to the people, capacity building for the people, and lastly, collaboration. The first two will be a waste of time if we don't collaborate. And collaboration in Nigeria will be collaboration between NASIMA, Manufacturers of Nigeria, NASMI Smedan, NASI, these are private organization, plus NEXIM, plus AFCFTA Coordinating Office, plus NEPC, plus NASAL, plus Afrexim or African Development Bank. But I'm talking about collaboration between the private and public sector. For example, the capacity building can be done by the NEPC for the people. Ministry of Trade can ensure that all the infrastructure, all the support required, everything required for me to be able to take advantage of this is in place. And of course, Nigerian Customs Service is a critical stakeholder in this. All the government agencies need to work together with the private sector. If there's no collaboration, which is why I love the idea of AFCFTA coordinating office, what I'm not sure of is how frequently the coordinating office work with all these agencies, particularly the private sector, because it seems sometimes as if the government people just want to work with other government agency and leave the private sector out, and they know we can't do without them. We can't do without you. We need you. You are the government. You are the one that can. You have all the permit, requirement, certification, everything that we need. But our success is your success. Meaning, if we are not successful in AFCFTA, then you in government are not successful under AFCFTA. Because when you claim, oh, Nigeria have exported this volume under AFCFTA, who is doing the export? Predominantly private sector. Who is doing the export? Predominantly private sector. If the private sector are the one that are going to do the export, and they are the one that will make it to take the glory for the shipment, then you must carry them along and work with the private sector. Provide all the necessary support, all the necessary information to be able to ensure that, you know, we've gone for a number of trade fair because of AFCFTA trade fair on the Africa. The question I keep asking is, when we go for this trade fair, what are the results? We need to rethink the way we do our trade fair. We need to rethink it. Sometimes the people that are able to be sponsored by government, most of them are not export ready. You want to go for trade fair and come back with people that have been not just export ready, they went there to get contract. They need to go there a day or two before and leave a day or two after to be able to meet more people. Not just during the program, before the program and after the program. And then we can measure. Whenever we go for this program in Cairo, in Cote d'Ivoire, in different parts of Africa, what are the outcomes, what are the results, what is the effect, and what are the impact of this program on the African people? This is my contemplation this morning. I believe this is going to help us to be able to take that champion AFCFTA, champion the regional trade agreement under AFCFTA, maximize in a way that benefits Nigerians, African, and everybody that is supposed to benefit, because I believe trade can do three things. It can reduce poverty under the SDG goal, it can reduce inequality, and it can reduce hunger on the African continent. See you in the next video, and bye for now.